Alrighty, YouTube, it's your boy Zxous, and we're back with another Goddess of Victory Nikke video. And in today's video, we're actually going to be ranking MAST on the Burst 2 tier list. Now, obviously, we've done a lot of testing with MAST, seeing how she works and stuff like that, how well she plays with some characters and stuff like that. And honestly, I think she's a pretty good character. I still wouldn't say she's like a must-have, right? Like, obviously, she's not a character that's like, you know, game changing, but she's definitely a character who, if you have, I would recommend to use her, especially if your main DPSs are like, you know, Modernia or Scarlet or even a Guillotine, right? Because it just makes sense. I'm joking. But we're gonna talk about all of it. Make sure you guys let's try to get let's try to get 10 new subscribers off this video. We are doing the nanogenics challenge. So if you are new and you're watching, make sure you subscribe, because your boy puts out content like crazy. So make sure you subscribe right now, and let's try to get 20 likes, right? 20 likes minimum on this video. So go ahead and do that right now. But let's talk about MAST. So like I was saying, MAST is literally a character that I feel like is going to be a character that most players are going to actually use if you did pull her, right? Because her whole kit is crit buffing, right? She's a crit buff support, and I think she does her job just fine. Honestly, I would say if you wanted a damage support, she might be one of the best options for a lot of characters, right? Now, the thing about this character, I'd say there's some pros and cons. Let me talk about her cons first. One thing or two things that I dislike about this character is the simple fact that her burst skill, everything lasts for 7 seconds, which is just so weird, because it's like, I don't understand why it's not just a full 10 seconds, right? It's not that big of a deal. Realistically, it's just 3 extra seconds, but I think like these burst skills should just always be the full burst, right? And the next thing is the 30-second crit, or the 30-second crit rate buff, right? I think maybe not a full game, because I was really thinking about it, and I thought, like, you know, at first I was like, the crit rate should have been the full game. But if the crit rate was the full game, it'd actually be so broken, because that means they would have their crit rate enhanced by 23.56% at level 10 skills. And I believe the base crit rate for every character is 50%, right? So that would be quite nasty, right? You can even see within the first 30 seconds of any showcase that a lot of these characters be critting a lot, right? So if it was the entire game, it would be troublesome, especially with all the crit damage that she does give. But I will say she is a very, very good character, because a lot of the characters, well, I don't want to say she's good, because a lot of characters do crit, so you're getting used out of it. But she gives a massive crit damage buff, right? Obviously, what, 76% at level 10 from her burst skill and skill 1 is quite insane. She also does lower defense, so when it comes to bosses, that's going to be very useful, because you can lower the defense to like almost up to like 100%. 1.9 times 50 is like 90 something percent. I think it's like 97 something. I don't remember. But it does go up to almost 100%. It's quite good, right? She's very, very good. She does unlock usage for a lot of other characters, I feel like Arya and Gila, right? She doesn't make them like god tier, right? But she does, you know, unlock characters like those. And then again, the main characters being ran like Scarlet and Modernia, this character is actually going to be the best partner for those types of characters, because what she actually does is increase 2 allies with the highest attack and herself their max HP without restoring their HP. So because of that, it's actually a very good effect for a lot of characters who have the effect where they get stronger the lower their HP is, or if they have to pass a certain percent of HP. That's where that burst skill comes into play, because, for example, Guillotine, right? Off rip, when you use the burst skill, you could have her HP below 50%. Right, which is quite insane, right? Literally, you can have her HP below like 50%, or at least close to it, right? Because she already lowers her HP, and then that's being lowered as well. Someone like Scarlet, right, where you want her to be below 50 and 60% for the crit rate and crit damage buff, you can do that a lot easier with someone like MAST, right? And then again, Modernia doesn't really need to lose HP, but Modernia does stack crit damage, right? So for, you know, to increase the crit rate by a pretty big amount for Modernia and give her all that crit damage on top of her stacking crit damage, right? And the same thing for other characters, right? Same as Gila, same as you know, a lot of these other characters that have these types of effects. It's a very, very good combination. But when it comes to characters like for example Alice or Soline, she just doesn't work at all with them, because obviously this part will hurt them, right? If they need to be at full HP or above a high amount of HP, then obviously it's not going to be very good for that, right? So I'm not going to say she's bad because she doesn't work with some characters, right? Because I want to say she works in most of the characters in the game regardless. At the end of the day, she still does work with most of the DPSs in the game. I want to say there's just like maybe a couple that she doesn't work with, right? I don't think she's a bad character whatsoever, though. I think she has a lot of value, especially when it comes to bosses, and when it comes to supporting, she does her job just fine, right? A 75% crit damage buff is no joke. Not to mention, she also does mirror. She like duplicates the stat count of her defense buff for every 1 second for 7 seconds on her burst skill. So you're gonna get to 50 stacks so quick when you use her burst skill. It's actually insane. So I do think she's a pretty good unit. If I was to rank her on the tier, like I said in the beginning, I think I would say she's one of the best burst 2 options for, you know, damage support. So I would have to put her at S tier, right? And that I wouldn't say she's an S tier character, because I have S and then A, right? So SS is like the people who are just above. But I would say she's on the tier of like Rupee, Dala, right? Biscuit, Noah. I would say she's in this range right here, this S range, right? Now, somebody actually asked me last time, why is Novel so low? Right, because obviously Novel is pretty nasty when it comes to bosses, but this is like an overall tier list, right? When it just comes to that one boss, that's where Novel is gonna shine. Right, and then besides that, that's it. She has nothing else to offer, so I can't put her. I mean, at most I could put her at high. I'll put her at high C, right? But at most I can't give her like A tier because of that. I can give her like the B tier at best, because that's it. But yeah, I do think MAST is a S tier character based off this list. If you were to ask me, I would say she's either low S or high A. But then again, would I say she's better than Rupee and Dala overall? Probably not. I don't think I'd say she's better than them overall kit wise. But I would say if I wanted, like if I had to choose a damage supporting character between Rupee, Dala, and MAST, I would probably choose MAST just because of the characters I use, and even the characters majority of the game uses, right? If your main character is Guillotine, MAST is going to be your best option. If your main character is Scarlet, MAST is going to be your best option. If your main DPS is Modernia, MAST is going to be your option. And those are the best characters in the game. At least Modernia and Scarlet are 1 and 2 of the best units in the game, right? So, right, I think I would pick her over Dala and Rupee to be paired up with the best units in the game. I mean, why wouldn't I want my MAST, who gives crit rate to the highest attacking units, to, you know, go to my Modernia who stacks crit damage, right? If I need an attack buff, Modernia gives herself an attack buff as well, so there's that. And Modernia crits like crazy, so this, like, a lot of these characters actually crit like crazy, right? So I do think she is an S tier character. I'm gonna just put her at low S right now. This is not really gonna be ranked, but I do think I'd say she's a low S right now, maybe high A. But I just don't. I would put her high A, but I don't like that, you know, she's here, because I don't really like in PvP as well, bro. If you get her burst skill going, you're gonna be cooking as well, right? I just really don't see anywhere where she's bad. Right, I don't think she's a bad character whatsoever, right? I would only say her cons come with her skills being the 30 seconds and the 7 seconds, but overall she's a pretty good character, right? I think she's pretty good. Obviously she does more than just supporting the team. She does still support the team in this way, but the defense lower is pretty big when it comes to bosses specifically. I say bosses specifically because on enemies, they're gonna die regardless. Like mob enemies will die regardless, right? But for that one tanky enemy that she decides to put it on, it will be very useful for them as well. So you can see how useful she is, right? But yeah, I would say MAST is an S tier unit. You guys let me know what you think. I'd say she's an S tier off this tier list, right? Because if S was the highest, then I would say she's an A. But since SS is the highest, I'd say she's the second highest there. But you guys let me know what you think. It's your boy Zxous, and I will see you guys in the next one. I'm out later. Peace.